Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to another live show. And today we are going to be talking about what it takes to succeed in Scrum or what it takes to succeed in Agile in general. And I'm going to be discussing a couple of points under what it takes to succeed in Agile, what it takes to succeed as a Scrum Master, as a PO, as an Agile coach. Any of this, we're going to talk about this. I also want to hear about what are some of your challenges, what are some of your questions. We're going to talk about that. But within the first 15 minutes, let me kind of take out some time and talk about a couple of points. I'm going to be talking about uh, why do many people find it difficult to find a job. Okay, and then I will talk about how to sustain a job when you actually find one. Then I'm going to talk about how should you prepare for a Scrum Master position, right? So we're going to handle all of this in this session. And definitely, we are going to have a conversation, and I will obviously hear from your end what are some of the challenges, and then we can now answer those questions. So, welcome to our Scrum chat room. Let me know exactly where you're connecting from so that I can give you a shout out. And this is going to be like a very important conversation. So, if you definitely want to share it or tag someone to come on board so that we can all have a great conversation together, that's going to be fine. All right, so it's a Monday. Happy New Week to everybody that is joining for today. And today we want to talk about what it takes to succeed in the space of agile, right? So what it takes to succeed in the space of agile. Hey, Coach Catherine, I see you there. Hello, Ethan. Hello, Zero. I see you right there and connecting from Texas, Chicago, Dallas, Texas, Franklin from Canada. Okay, perfect. We have Busayo from San Antonio. Okay, let me know where you're connecting from. I'll definitely hit you back. And for all those who have been following all of this, why? Great. Now, without wasting time, let's dive into the conversation, right? I see so many people joining. Humphrey from Kenya, Nairobi. Wow. Great. Happy New Year. Okay, so we want to talk about what it takes to succeed in Scrum, right? It's a very important conversation, and I want you to pay really close attention on what we're going to be talking about, right? I know most often we pay so much attention on pure Scrum itself, like understanding the different concept in Scrum and all of that. This is very important, but most often you agree with me that if you build a house without a solid foundation, it's going to be very difficult for you to sustain that house, right? It's just going to be something that you do temporarily. So we want to look at what it's missing for many people that are in the Scrum job, right? Why many people cannot find the job they need. Now, I always say this, that the reason why many people cannot find a job is because you're looking for a job, right? The reason why you cannot find a job is because you're looking for a job. And you might want to ask me a question: how can I be looking for something, then because I'm looking for it, I cannot find it? All right. So now we are in the job of Scrum or in the job of Agile. Everything you get, it's more on how you think about it, right? How you think about it, how you can be able to tap into it. So the first big challenge which many people go through, most especially not only in Scrum, in career transition, is that they are looking for something which is easy, which is popular, which can pay them more money, which people think, oh, this is easy. Now, a lot of people, because they have not gained an understanding of what they are looking for, it's going to take them so long a time to find it. I'll bring it down to the space of Scrum so that we can easily understand it. Now, have you ever for once asked yourself the question, why where Scrum only needs you to sit in, or the actual period you are required to sit in to actually take a Scrum certification is 16 hours, right? Now, when you ask yourself a question, why would they give you something? Why don't you need to go to like a bachelor, a master, a long-term program to actually get a Scrum job? Now, this is the first question a lot of people don't ask. Why is just a certification and then you can go in and get a job? Now, this is the first point for you to understand what you need to do in the whole process. So, when you gain this understanding why Scrum is a crash course, it's a 16 hours training required for you to go in and take your certification. Now, you will now understand what you need to do. When we say something it's a crash course, or you don't really require a very lengthy period in order to achieve it, this means that there are many other requirements that need already to come in. There are many other requirements that we are expecting that you already have before you start doing Scrum. And one of these requirements is that you already have a mastery on product or project management. So in that case, we feel like everyone has the foundation that they need to do Scrum. So let's not bother you with going to study everything about leadership, everything about project management. Let's give you what is necessary for you to build on the foundation that you already have, and then you can now have a Scrum job. But then now, when many people come into the Scrum fee, they are not aware of the fact that Scrum builds already on many layers. So Scrum is more than a roof we're covering; it's not the foundation. So we're missing the foundation and we're trying to build the house from the roof, right? Studying questions and studying answers and then trying to understand every aspect of what Scrum is. But the foundation is that we are assuming that you already have that leadership mindset, you already have that basic project management. You already have that basic project management skills. So we just want you to build on something that can now be like the finishing. So the number one challenge for many people is that they have not come to the understanding that there's quite a lot of work they need to do at the background in order to step into the Scrum job. What is the work we need to do in the background in order to step into the Scrum job? Number one, you need to build leadership mastery. Now, when you are in a job interview, you realize that more than 60% of the questions are situational questions, are leadership questions. What will you do in a case where work is happening like this? What will you do in a case where there's conflict like this? What will you do in order to help your team manage? So, most of them are situational questions, right? You will not expect, or most of the cases, you will not expect to go in the interview and they ask you, oh, what's a daily stand up? What's the spring planning? What is this? No. So you hardly not have those applications, those type of questions. You mainly learn into questions which are application questions. Now, application questions because they understand that you already need to have the mastery, right? So the first biggest challenge is that people don't master what it is all about. And because they don't master what it's all about, they are trying. Now, your understanding is shallow. Because your understanding is shallow, you cannot even build the basic foundation that's needed to stand you out. Starting from the resume, the many people once they attend the PSM online, or maybe they attend, let's say, 6 weeks where they teach them all the events and all of that, and then they get someone to do the resume, and they feel that's enough. Right, that is enough if you already in project management, you understand everything about that, and you kind of just apply. But if you definitely don't have any background in project management, in leadership, then there's so much work you need to do. Right. Now, with this understanding, it gives you the right mindset to succeed. More than 90% of people that are within or are looking for a Scrum job don't have what it takes. Even if I give you 50 interview now, you will not be able to go through because Based starting from your conversation, they'll realize a lot of gap in there. So the question now is, what can you do in order to take the right step towards your job? Now, the understanding is the first point. I'll give you another example. When you actually wanted to maybe take any program, a degree program whatsoever, or let me take a typical example for those who are doctors or nurse practitioner. What happened? Now you understand that what you need to do require 4 years, right? There's a plan or require 5 years. Now you start going to your study program or going to the university from day one. And what makes you understand how much time you need in the process, or what makes you not give up, is because you have that mindset that the entire program is going to take me 5 years. So day in, day out, you are coming to that program in order to build what it takes for you to complete that program. Now, this is completely missing for people who are looking for a Scrum job. Everyone wants to get on the YouTube, do question and answer, then get the job. No, it's a whole lot of processes that you need to go through. Despite the fact that getting a certification is very cheap, doesn't mean that getting a job is very cheap. All right. Now, that's the first point where many people are missing, which means that yes, you have the certification, but you don't have what it takes to get a job. You have a good resume, but you don't have what it takes to back up. So, how do you close that gap? You close that gap by doing what you have not done, going through the processes, especially those who have never been in a project management before, environment before. You have never been in the a leadership position before. You need a lot of practice. You need a lot of practice. You need to be in an environment where you can study. You need to be in an environment where somebody can help you, walk you through the process, right? And such environment, there are some good communities that actually are offering you that opportunity to learn for free, right? Not environments where, with all due respect to all the coaches and everybody teaching Scrum, where all you do is they go teach you all the events and then you ask a couple of questions. No, we're talking about practical environment where you can learn the tool, where you can challenge, they can challenge you to learn further, where you can go through all the events in practice, practice daily stand up, practice how to run a project, where you can practice even how to take an interview before taking an interview. All of this is the phases which many people are missing. Now, if you actually are following me now, and for some reason you haven't gone through this phase, you definitely just, with all due respect, fooling yourself that you want a Scrum job, right? So it doesn't. Now, one thing with most of the job that require levels of leadership and professionality is that it's not about how zealous you want it. When, okay, I'm gonna give you an example. When you're talking, someone can know if you understand what you're saying or you're just talking because you read it right. I'm going to give you example. Let's take for instance a 5 years old that understand how to read a nursing book, right, versus someone that has actually gone to the nursing school and understand the practicality and every stuff. Now, both of them are going to read the same book, but you can see the difference, like, oh, this person have mastery over this person. So the first big challenge we have in is that we are not putting in the time to do the mastery. For mastery, sometimes it might even take you. Now, within my community, I said, okay, we have a 90 days process that help people to get a job. But I always tell people that 90 days is just an average. 90 days is an average, but the people, based on where you are, you probably don't have any background. You require more than that because you need now to go back and do further work which you've never done before, right? So the second question which I want to answer, it's also, we also have about close to 30 to 50% of people who get the job and they cannot sustain it. It's very, very important. And this is why communities are one of the powerful way for you to sustain your job. And we also have a lot of people who get the job, and after their contract, they are unable to get another job. And then they're feeling like, you know what, I have everything, so I'm just missing A or B or C. Now, this is something you need to understand about success. At any point when you get what you want and you feel like, you know what, I have what I need, and you don't put in the time to learn more, you start losing gradually what you have, right? Because you're giving it out. So, even for those who are within the Scrum fee, the first thing for you to gain sustainer, number one, be part of a community, right? Now, you probably might not be part of the community. You might want to build your own community from scratch. That is well understood. But be in a space where you engage with others. Be in a space where you're constantly sharing what you have learned and getting feedback from other people based on what you have learned. This is very important. Right. So be in a space, go and take further certifications and take further program. Go and learn some technical skills. When you have the job, it's a platform for you to learn more. It's not an opportunity for you to relax and like, oh, alas, I finally have the job. No, it's an opportunity for you to learn more, to put yourself to do more. We are in the journey of constant learning. I still learn, I still take more certification, I still push myself to learn more. And that is why it's easier for me to come out and share with you, right? And I'm confident that any question you ask, or most of the question, not every question, most of the question you ask, I should be able to give you at least a minimum satisfactory answer. Why? Because I have been able to position myself to continuously learn. Right. And because I also create an opportunity to continuously teach other people who are willing to learn, you realize that I keep my memory up to date. So those who are in the already like you already have the job and you feel like, okay, I've seen those who have been in the job for 2 years and they go come out, they cannot have the other job because they were so comfortable with what they're learning in such a way that when they go out, a lot of stuff have changed. So many things have changed, and most often in the practical working environment, they're not so much careful about the practicality of Scrum. They're kind of comfortable with what they're already doing. So if you don't put yourself out in a community where you constantly learn more, you'll realize that very soon you are going to expire. You are going to expire. And now the third thing which I want to talk about today, uh, I'm going to talk about uh, how should you prepare for a Scrum Master position for those who are still in the journey or those who want to get into a Scrum position? What should you be doing? All right, you've had your certification. What next? Uh, Let me first of all kind of talk about certain things which you can self evaluation you should do in order to understand what you're missing. Now, number one, if you pick up your resume and you start going through line one, line two, line three, line four, and you don't understand or you cannot effectively defend that, it's an indication that you're not ready, right? If you pick up your resume and I ask you, okay, can you tell me exactly what you were doing as a scrum master in this company, and you cannot do that, you're not ready. Now, the mistake a lot of people often make is that when I ask you, tell me your job as a scrum master where you work with, let's say, West Fargo, that, oh, I was working as a scrum master and I was facilitating all the different events from planning, and I help my team to remove impediments and all of that. Right. Many people analysis end at this level, and this is basically not accepted as what you were doing. Right now, when you understand Scrum or Agile delivery or Agile project management, the first thing you understand that is it's not about events, it's not about impediments. No, it's about helping a team to deliver a business value. So when we say, tell me about your last project, we don't want to hear your story about events and removing impediment. We want to be able to hear you say that, okay, why I work with a team at West Fargo, I was working with the middleware team and we're building new product for external vendors and all of this, or we're building security automation in order to enhance loan processing. This is the typical stuff we want to hear based on the environment where you're working on. This is what it means by tell me about your last project or tell me about your previous position. Now, if you have not built, you definitely cannot build this by guesswork. You need to already understand the practice in order to do this. Now, you probably will be asking me, oh, I have no background, I've never been in a Scrum environment. How can I build this kind of understanding? Get yourself situated in a community where they can simulate all of these projects. You can see how they work in practice, and you can be able to align yourself to what exactly to say, right? Very important. Most often, when I share this, I always say, you don't need to come to my community, right? We offer all of this training within our community, but the goal is to help you understand what you need and find a perfect community. There are many other coaches that offer that. And also, my advice for anyone who probably is looking for a community that can help them scale through, and the reason why you should look for a community, number one, becoming a scrum master is beyond the money. If you're going in for the money, forget. It's beyond the money. Number one, the self development is overwhelming. You cannot measure the gift. You are in the space where you're talking with leaders, people who matter. The self growth, the way you think, right, the way you behave. I've had so many people within my community just by them practicing and being in a practical Scrum environment. Their immediate family can already see a change. What's happening? We see you behaving differently now. The way you communicate. Why? Because it's all about leadership. It's all about leadership. It's all about leadership. So you need to be able to master in practice what you're doing. Secondly, this is something that can change your life forever. And now it often marvels me when people say, you know what, I don't have the money to invest in a community. Then you're not serious. Stop doing Scrum. If you're not willing to invest, you're wasting your time. And I often see people say, you know what, I really want to change, I'm tired of what I'm doing, it's not really worth it. And then what you're doing is the reason why you cannot even put in the time. Oh, you know what, I'm working from this period to this period. Now when you're ready, this one thing about change, about success, when you're ready to transition to a next level, you must straight up, probably cut down your expenses so that you can cut down the number of hours you work and focus on this. Probably stay up extra hours late in order to cash out. You must do something that helps you to close the gap. Right. We had someone, which is one of the top coaches in our community, who actually showed us that there is definitely no excuse for everyone not to get it right. This person was heavily pregnant, almost 6.5 months, and she told herself, you know what? By the time I put to bed, I want to have a job. Many people will not do that. They was like, oh, you know what? I need to wait until this. I need to wait until this happen. I need to wait until this happen. Life wait for nobody. So the game of success is a game of no excuses. The more you keep making excuses, the more you keep delaying your success. The day you make up your mind that, you know what, I don't want to make any excuse for not moving to the next phase, is the day you start succeeding. All right. So for those who are still preparing, yes, get a certification, but the certification is not enough. Certification is just there to fool you that you're doing Scrum. If you at the level of certification and you're wondering why you've been in this space for a year and you don't have a job, it's because you're not doing Scrum yet. You just have a certification. It's more like you go to a nursing school, right? You've never been in a practical session, and then you have a degree and you want to go work in a real situation. You will not be able to do the work. Right. That's why in most of the cases where it requires practicality, it's integrated. You do service, you practice, and all of that. Many of us don't practice, so we get opportunities. We go to interviews, but we cannot cross it because there's a whole big gap missing. And if you find yourself in that category, you need to invest for training. Right. For those who are if you want to be part of our community, it's definitely not free being part of a community. You can reach out. We can see how we can help you. Couple of ways to reach out to me. You can DM me on LinkedIn or any platform. But then still also on the video, you can still see my number there. Send me a text. I'm interested and not interested to with all due respect waste my time. Interested, like, okay, you know what, I'm serious about what I'm doing and I need help because I definitely don't have so much time to start playing around. So do your homework, talk to yourself, see if this is what I need. Try to position yourself. A scrum job is not about money. Don't come because you need money. Don't come because I need a job in 1 week. I don't have anything to do. I need a source of income. No. Come because you're career oriented. Come because you see a future within this space. Now, that's a mindset that helps you to win. If you don't see a future, it's going to be very difficult for you to survive in this space, right? Now, lastly, the last thing I want to talk about today, um I also want to talk about sustaining. Now, we also have people who have put in the work, right? You're practicing in a community, but it's taking you a bit of time to do that. That's understandable. If you put in the work, but it's still taking you time to do that. Now, this is the secret, or this is my advice for you. You need to be able to master how time play with you in your success, right? Now, the only reason why we feel frustrated or we feel depressed or feel like we're not making through certain things is because we fit ourselves within a time frame. So because we fit ourselves within a time frame, it becomes frustrating that we're not able to hit that time frame. Right. For anything that you're not able to get, more time will give you the result. Anything more time will give you the result. So if you've done everything possible, just stay in there, continue do what you need to do, right? And most importantly, if you're just unaware on your own, get some coaching, not scrum coaching, personal coaching. You can get some counseling, you can get some spiritual help and all of that. All of this come into place to help you actually put through. But then I also want to talk about something very important which a lot of people don't do, but this is the key to for you to succeed. Number one, for many people who want a scrum job, they have never actually taken time to sit on a video like this and practice. They don't even have like a space within their home where if even when they're in a coaching program, they could sit there and practice. Now, when you want something, you need to be able to create an environment that looks like what you want. Many people don't even have a laptop. They always join meetings on their phone, on their phone, on their phone. So they have not created an environment that helps them to push through. So environment is very important. Secondly, many people don't have a study plan. They do Scrum anytime they feel like doing Scrum. You need to have a schedule you on your calendar that you study. You need to be able to get yourself headset, make Scrum part of your life, breathe it, right? When you do that, you realize that you can scale through. I was listening to someone who say, look, you know what, I did not go to college, but I have a university degree. I was like, how's that possible? And he began to share his story on how he was able to do that. Like, okay, he did not have a college degree because he did not have the chance to go to college, but at certain age in life, because of the mastery he had at his workplace. Now he was taken in to do a master program. Now, someone without a college degree. So the first semester was very difficult for me. But then I derived a strategy. I started recording every lecture that we had, and then I would spend time listening to it over and over and over and over and over again. Now, this person understood that they were missing the foundation. It's the same for many of us within the agile space. We don't have project management or some of the technical background. but we are not putting in what it takes. So this guy will listen to this lesson over and over again. Now he is present in the session, but then the after work, he will go after listening to it over and over and over again. And by the end of that program, he was the best and was given a scholarship. Now we have people who actually went to college and they feel like, you know what, I know what I know, and they don't put in the time. So make it a priority. Set yourself some rewarding point, right? Create a space. I'm able to talk to you because I have a space at home I can sit in and do it, right? So it's not because I have the time. You probably will say, "Oh, you don't understand. I have this number of kids. I also have kids, right? Young kids at home." But then, what do? Create some discipline. Create moments that you can be able to do this, right? So very, very important. All right. So that was it on what it takes to succeed. Let me kind of give a summary. First, it's the mind. Now, understand that you need to do more. For any result that you cannot get right now, you need doing more will get to the result. When I hear people say, you know what, I've done everything possible. No, you cannot do everything possible and you don't get it. If you are not yet there, there's a gap. And for many people, I can tell you the gap is that you're not investing the right energy, the right resources. You don't belong to the right communities. That's what many people have spoken to so many people. And some feel like, oh, my resume is good, but then I pick up the resume and I see you said in your resume you were able to help your team increase um result by 60%. What exactly do you mean by increase result by 60%? How were you able to measure this? Like, oh, I don't know. Now these are questions when you go for interview, they ask you. So your resume is not just something fancy. You should be able to defend every line on your resume. Now you realize that you did not actually think through what are the implications of the things there, right? You feel like it's just something to get me an interview. And you might really master the scrum where if someone just deviate and asks you a line on your interview on your resume and you could not defend that, that's definitely a reason why you're not getting anywhere. All right, perfect. So that was it for today. Let me take a couple of questions for the next 10, 15 minutes, and then we're going to count it. This is day four, right? This is day four, and I did make a promise that for the next 5 days, I'm going to come live on live. So tomorrow, I'm also coming on live the same time, 12:30 Central Time. And I've not yet decided on the topic I'm going to talk about yesterday, tomorrow. So, but then if you put a topic for those who put a suggestion on what you want me to talk about tomorrow, and I'm gonna pick a topic here and we'll have a conversation about it. If not, I might just come up tomorrow to receive all your questions and answer from all dimensions. But right now, you have an opportunity to ask a question, and within the next 10 minutes, I'll create time to answer it. All right, so let me see. No question yet. If here you want to connect, send me a text, then I should be able to respond to you. And hello to this connecting, Christine connecting from Irene, and Flo connecting from Massachusetts, and then we have Abba, how are you doing? And then Asanka connecting from Ohio. Hello to everyone who is connecting. Okay, so time for your question. Today was more of a mindset training, more of the mindset training. Hello, Narendra, connecting all the way from, and that's connecting all the way from New Jersey. Okay. Uh, Mina, you like to connect with me? Great. Mina, I put my number on the screen, so send me a text. Tell me, or I listen to. Please, when you send me a text, be a bit more specific. I listen to you on the LinkedIn, and that's why I want to connect. So that I can prioritize your message because I definitely receive too many messages I cannot respond to. So send me a text, and then I'll respond to you. um, all right. Do you suggest? Okay, where do you suggest we get the foundation from? Bonnie Jackson, send me a message. I have a community that we build people from scratch, right? 90 days process. And we have training sessions like almost every day. So flexible schedule you can fit into it. So we do have a community. There's my number on the screen. Send me a text and I should be able to provide you more information there. Arenda said, I want to learn s- into my Scrum job and really spend time and energy, but I need a roadmap and guidance, please. Okay. Arenda, send me a text, right? My number is on the screen, so send me a text and I should be able to give you an idea of what to do, how to go through, or a presentation. It's not gonna be me talking to you. I have like a presentation is stuff for everybody. For those who really want to get, I have a presentation. I'll give you the roadmap for free, and then you should be able to go through that. Okay, and I see. Yes, Collins, one of the best community you can ever. Yes, Collins is part of us, so Collins can actually uh, give you an idea of what it takes to be part of the community as well. Um, and then how do you handle changing priority during the sprint? Communication, communicate and collaborate. Understand why we have these changes. When you understand why there are these changes, then you should be able to handle it right. For anything that you do, which is an anti-pattern, the way to manage it first is to understand what is causing these changes. Is it because we are not collecting the requirement well? Is it because we are working on a project that is fluctuating and all of that? Now, most of these questions will no longer become a surprise to you when you gain more practical understanding based on how changes, based on how requirements are collected in Scrum and what actually causes changes. There are two major stuff that causes changes in requirement in the spring. Number one, the market situation. Right, we're building a product for the market. So if there's changes in market situation, we affect changes in requirement. It might also be that you don't have an organized PO and they don't have the time they're not taking out the time to fix or to make sure their backlog is prioritized. So when they start working, things can change at any time T. So different stuff that can actually cause these changes in requirement during a sprint, right? So all of that. Now, for people who are already Scrum Master certified, I think on the 20, I'll try to get that information maybe tomorrow. We're doing an ROTE training and certification. Also, send me a text if you want to be part of the ROTE training and certification. We have some really, really good discount for those who want to join, and I will be able to share that with you. So, everybody, thank you very much for being part of today's session. Always great to share. Um, Take time to re-listen to this again. It's all about your mindset, how to train your mind to get you the result that you really need to get to. And I'll see you tomorrow at the same time. Tomorrow we're gonna do a lot of questions and answer. So you can come tomorrow with all the questions from the different angle. I'll just spend tomorrow since it's the last day of my challenge, just to make sure we have a good conversation. We do questions and answer. It doesn't only have to be Scrum, any aspect of agile product development. Bring your question, let's learn, let's challenge each other, right? I'm over there. So I'll see you tomorrow during our open question and answer session.